let's start with the concept of loops. We have read about the loops, why we use loop. When we want to iterate a process or a statement one by one, maybe we cannot write it in echo command, so that's why we move to the loops. As we have discussed before the if-else statements, now the time is to move on for the loop. Let me just make a new folder for the lecture. Open a Sublime text in a new tab. Okay, so I'm making a new file. Our next topic is about arrays, but before array we need to understand the all loop constructs, otherwise we will get confused why this is happening and how we can get the value from the arrays. So I'm making an index.php file. Let's suppose I said that if I want to repeat my name again and again, so how can I do it? We need a variable that should keep a track, and I'm just starting this variable from 1, right? So this one will contain a starting point that this statement will be repeat from the 1 to until I will given this condition. Let's suppose if I say that if my I less than equals to 10, so this will make happen, mean to say it will run one time. But if I write here while, so it means until I is less than or equals to 10, so repeat this statement. But it will goes to the infinite loop because there is no ending point. We need to keep update this value when it's insert into the loop body, so we have to update maybe by 1, by 2 or by 3. If you want to make it by 1, so it will give you 10 time output, but if you want to update by 2, so it will give 5 time outputs. So that's the same scenario, it will give you the 3 times, mean it is not 3 times 1 plus 3 4 plus 3 7 plus 3 10. Okay, so the increment depends upon your criteria which you have set, but the concept is that to increment this value, we can increment this value by 2 things, like we can do this statement like a way, otherwise we can do plus plus. So this is the shortest way to plus 1. If you want to plus 2, so you cannot do it like this is wrong syntax. If you want to do plus 2, so we should follow this syntax. Okay, so I'm just showing this output, how it look like. So start this amp as well and open the browser, localhost / Arial. Okay, this lecture, and there is 17. This is 17, right? I think I didn't save the file. C zamp Arial database 17. हो गया अच्छा sorry I remove my name. Okay, so it's repeating itself 10 times. Ignore this last one because I have installed this JSON extension, so that's why it's looking like this. But if I just minimize, remove this extension, so it will be in the same scenario as it look like in a standard browser. If I want to show the value like this, and I will have the value of 1 2 3 4 5 6 and up to 10. The one goes to down, it's my browser fault, it's not your output fault. Okay, alright, so the next part is I'm just moving on to the concept that this is one type of loop. We can there are four type of loop basically, but we are discussing another type of loop, that is a do while. There is only difference between both of them is the syntax. If I remove this condition and write do keyword here, and then I shift this condition after the body and make a semicolon, so it will give you the same output. So this is the another output. We use this in a rare case. We don't use this rarely. I mean to say, we don't use this more and more time. We only use while or for loop. So now moving to the for loop. What is the for loop? For, so for mean which time you want to repeat the value. This is another type of loop. Okay, if I working on this loop, so we have 3 or 4 things to keep in mind. One is the initialization, I mean to say the first value, and the second was the condition, and the third was the body of the loop. This will remain same in the body of the for loop as well. Okay, but where's this part comes into, we will get this part and paste this part into here, and then we can make a condition in the same scenario like this, but we are continuously make the semicolons after each statement and make an increment here. So this is the shortest way to absorb this all value, show this all value. I will now remove this concept, I mean to say while loop, so the for loop came into the game now. So the same output will be shown in the browser because nothing is changed in the output, but the loop structure is changed. So this is the shortest loop, otherwise you will get confused to increment value and it will get infinite loop, otherwise there will be a logical error. So the next part will be another type of loop that will deal with the array. So I am starting the array concept.